Previously on ApprenticeEh.
You guys are filthy!
Bath time for Julie. For a dog that really likes to be warm, you think a warm bath would just be perfect for him. Look at how crimpy it all is. There you go. Good morning. It's early. It's about 9:30ish, a little bit later, which is early, right? It's not that early, but I am alone, and I'm also at a special place, which is pretty exciting for me as an individual and a lover of coffee. I'm in the parking lot of. It's gonna get better than this. I'm at the parking lot of the official Tim Hortons roasting facility. And I've been invited to go on a tour and a tasting of a new coffee. So I'm pretty pumped. And I got here a little early. So I'm gonna wait in the car for a little bit. Well, you can tell we're inside and it smells like coffee. It smells because I have a small coffee roaster at home and it smells like that. And there's all the beans.
It smells like a farm right now.
Yeah. This is coffee from all over the world. Like I was saying, it's from like Guatemala, Brazil, Colombia. And it's just all right here. It's right here. I want to touch it. This whole thing?
Yeah.
It's a week and a half?
Yeah.
Wow.
A week and a half worth of coffee. Yep. Okay. So what they'll do is they'll dump it through the hopper, and the hopper will turn it on. They don't actually dump it over. Then it goes up.
Basically, this is a giant hopper. And so everything kind of goes in there. And then that's where all the magic starts.
Our whole process is closed, loose. So the only open spot we have is when you open the top. They really don't touch the top. You dump it down through the grate, it goes up to the cleaner, and then into a silo. It's not going on all the air bays or the mains in the system. It goes through either the grinders and all that through the bank. So it's not open to any kind of possible contamination. These are true roasters. They're one of the most advanced roasters you get in North America.
Oh wow.
3,000. They roast 3,000 kilos each per hour.
This is where they do all the roasting, and it smells amazing. And I'm sure
It goes around a daisy wheel that will put the side seals on it. So now you've got basically a pouch, a continuous pouch.
that's where they make all the coffee that goes into the pouches. Is that machine there?
The operator will do here is just check to make sure the turn notch is in the middle, make sure the date code is legible. There's a set of knives that cut the pouches into individual pouches. Then there's another suction cup that picks that up again. And then you can see how it's pulsating. It's counting and it's dropping the case or the pouches flat in the case. It's putting 144 in.
This will be the machine that opens up all the boxes. Nailed it.
We think this is going to be a lot of fun for you folks because there's we've got coffee from all over the world for you guys to try. Have you guys done coffee tasting before?
Never.
Never?
Not
Okay.
officially, no.
Typically what happens is we get a pre-shipment sample, and that pre-shipment sample is it's a lot of coffee that a vendor has sold us that meets the Tim Hortons specification. We grade it in terms of the green bean. We then roast it up in our little sample roasters over here. Then we go through a cupping exercise, which we're going to do here. Once we approve that sample, it gets then put on a vessel. And typically every 3 weeks or it takes for coffee from Latin America to arrive. We get a second sample that we cup against the original shipment sample. We compare the two results. If it doesn't taste like the original sample, we reject it.
Oh, wow.
If we take it and it gets approved, it goes into our inventory. And we have a third check at all those bags that you saw in the back warehouse. That's the third check we would do. Brazil is the single most important producing country in the world. We've got a Colombian coffee, which is the has the highest production of washed Arabica. We're cupping a Guatemalan coffee, which we believe is one of the top three countries in the world in terms of quality. We've got an Indonesian coffee. This particular coffee is very unique in its taste. It's got a heavy, we thought that we'll give you an education on Robusta. We're certainly not using any for the Tim Hortons blend, but it's important in terms of the world and coffee's production. Part of the cupping, or it's actually not going to be final because we've got everything set up here, is the Three Peaks Colombian that we just launched. It's our first single origin coffee. It's so fresh with the CO2, it forms this crust that when we walk you through this, what we're going to do is break that crust, and this blast of aroma is going to come off the coffee. If it wasn't fresh, you would have no crust, and the coffee would be stale.
Huh.
So if you drink espresso,
yeah,
if you don't see a crema on the espresso, it's either stale or the grind setting was wrong. But it's stale. You should see a nice crema on the
Fascinating.
espresso.
Coffee is hard. Don't put your nose into the cup.
Don't happen. You get a blister.
So what do? Bring your nose close to the cup, and then stir coffee grounds, and then inhale the aroma.
You can get cedar, you can get mushroom, you can get earth. Those are the three different aromas.
Original Three Peaks dark roast?
Yes.
Should we skip the middle one and go to the dark roast?
No, I would.
No?
I would go to the.
Do you want to order?
That's funny. That smells like the best so far out of all of them. Which one? With Tim Hortons regular. That's a hilarious.
The one we loved, right?
That's right.
The one where
You've programmed me well.
The dark roast.
Wow. So different.
Yeah, surprisingly different.
So when you slurp, we're going to make loud noise, and coffee is going to hit all part of your tongue.
So that was pretty awesome. It was like, as I say, like journeying to like the Mecca, you know, the hub of where all like the restaurants get their coffee from. That was super cool. Apparently they do, is it 960, 930? 930 packages a minute, which is one package is a pot. So 930 pots of coffee a minute. And they said works out to be about 4,000 cups of coffee. So it's packaging and making 4,000 cups of coffee a minute, which is a lot. That's a lot.
don't vlog you struggling.
I can't do it because I'm laughing.
Yeah, sure, okay, excuses. Come on, man.
Yeah.
There you go. There's the manly man I know. Sheesh.
I only spilled a little bit.
Can't even open a jar.
Hey man, jars are like the hardest things to open.
That's true. I can never open jars. I always make you do it. So, I guess that's fair. Good job. I'm proud of you.
Thanks. So all day, I'm like at my desk, working, and all I smell is like coffee roasting.
Okay.
Because of the Tim Hortons thing.
Yeah.
It's like in my sweater.
Okay.
Like in my jacket.
Nice.
And you know how I have like that little coffee roaster?
Yeah.
You know that smell?
Yeah.
It's that. But imagine
just all everywhere.
the two biggest things in the world roasting coffee, and you're like standing in front of it getting blasted. You're just like, ah, this is great.
You're silly.
So I just smell like it and it smells so good.
You just want coffee all day, every day?
Yes, pretty much so. But one of the cool things, I tried to film it. I don't think it worked because I think as soon as I went to film it, they stopped it. But when they get like the big bags of coffee in, right? And sometimes there's like little rocks in the bags, right? Because
things that don't belong.
Things that don't belong there. So when they roast the beans, when a coffee bean is roasted, it gets lighter.
Yeah.
Because like the liquid leaves it and it shrinks a little bit. So they have these giant tubes that are like this big. like this big, and they're vacuum tubes. So when the coffee is done being roasted and it like goes down to this pit, this giant vacuum like cyclones up the coffee.
That's cool.
So as you're walking by, there's just giant pipes of coffee beans just being pulled up in the air,
cool.
And all like the rocks and pebbles, or something like if the bean didn't get roasted well enough, it just stays on the bottom. And that's like one of the things they do to separate the coffee.
That's super cool.
It was awesome. It was really cool. I learned so many things. So many things!
Home is where the frog is.